Hello, friends. So, some of you by now may be asking, what is an awakening? An awakening is many things. First and foremost, it is essentially awakening to the possibilities and the horizon of what really exists out there. Some of which might be hard for some people to grasp. It just depends on where you are in your evolution at this point and on your path. So, for me, what awakening meant, with already a broad mind, meant one of many things. One, awakening to my life's purpose, um, an understanding of why I'm here, um, why anybody is here, why we have chosen to incarnate into this physical body on this plane we call Earth, an understanding of the universe and that we are not alone. Also, an understanding that there are more than one dimensions. The dimension in which we live is the third dimension, so we call that 3D living. But there are also different dimensions within our own existence currently, right now. It's just that we, or most of us, are not currently living in that existence. So, what does that mean? I mean, ultimately, once you start to awaken, your purpose is to climb the ladder into different dimensions. Um, when we come here with the intent to live in the third dimension, to experience life in this incarnation, to feel the extremities of feelings, which once we leave this plane, those feelings are not felt in the same way. So think of it this way. Say you're going out, you're doing an out-of-body travel experience when you're sleeping, and you go and you meet all your astral buddies, and you're talking to them about all the experiences that you're having here on this plane on Earth. And you're telling them, oh, today, I got in an argument, a heated argument with somebody, and I was feeling this way and that way, and just so angry and so upset. And I couldn't even talk. All I could do was yell and da 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 da. Well, they would look at you and say, okay, because they wouldn't understand. They don't have the capacity to understand what all of the emotions and the range of emotions that we feel here on this plane, what that actually means or feels like. They don't have that capacity. So that is one way of looking at an awakening. That's one aspect. Waking up to an understanding that there's far more to this existence than meets the eye. There's plenty of information out there, but through these videos I will be talking here and there on many of these topics, and I will elaborate in a lot more of them. Another thing is facing your shadow. So a lot of people call this the dark night of the soul. They call it the dark night of the soul. However, it does not last one night. It lasts for as long as it takes for you to essentially come to yourself again. So the longer you've been alive, the longer it's going to take, is kind of my gathering. So I've been here 34 years, and essentially I've got 34 years worth of baggage to process. So that's not only just the life experiences and such, but it's also all of the pieces that have fragmented off of you, some due to external outside forces, that being family situations and dynamics, and school, work situations, friendships, relationships. All of those things have a big part in pushing parts and aspects away from yourself. But you also make the fundamental choice to fragment these pieces off of yourself and to push them away. And what that means is that, say somebody makes you feel bad for being a certain way. They criticize you, they make you feel terrible. Say it's in a school setting. They make fun of you, well, of course, you're going to deem that part of you to be unsuitable to fit into the society. So for me, a good example was I was growing up as an empath. I was highly sensitive. I was extremely oversensitive to everything in my life. Everybody felt like they were walking on eggshells. So they told me. So essentially, I was always told growing up that I was far too sensitive. I'm too sensitive. I take things too personally, and they just couldn't understand where I was coming from, and I couldn't grasp why nobody could come to my level and understand where I was at that point in my development. And essentially, what I did to survive in a harsher world for me was I started to deem those parts of myself not suitable for living in this world and therefore not safe. So if I needed to survive, I would fragment that piece off of myself, and then I would push it into my shadow side. And by doing that, I've denied a part of me that existed within myself. And so throughout our lives, we do this quite often. We push parts of ourselves away from ourselves. And by doing that, we create our shadow side. Now, when you start to awaken, you start having these experiences coming back up. Some of them are going to be really negative because of the attachment to them based on the emotional body. And yeah, some of them are really scary. It depends on what you've been through in your life. And I've been through a lot, quite a range and quite a variety of different things. That in fact, a lot of people, when I try to tell them or I make friends, they deemed that that was not suitable for their, I guess, existence, that they were not able to handle that. And I can't hold that against them. You know, it's just that the things that I have been through have been quite extreme for some people who have just lived in maybe more of a protected life. So in that sense, you know, I can't hold those things against people. I also understand that we're all on our own path. And so in that sense, I can't really hold it against them for living that existence. And anyways, so back on track. So essentially, you're going to come across a lot of difficult situations in your life. Some of them might not be that difficult at all. And you have to go through those experiences again. You have to feel them just like they were fresh, like they had just happened. And essentially what's going to happen after that is you need to, depending on the situation, you're going to have to do a lot of work to integrate that part of yourself back into. And now there's a lot of different things and techniques, tips, tools that you can use. I will provide a bunch of those in some other videos, but the point is to reintegrate all of the pieces of your shadow side back into yourself so that you can become whole. Because to know yourself fully means that you can walk confidently in this world. You can walk without fear. You can walk without judgment or without a care that anybody else is judging you. You can go confidently in your life and follow your pursuits in your life purpose and live a happy existence. Now, that's something in itself. What is a happy existence? Ponder that question yourself, because most of us think that we have happiness, or we think that if we have this or that job or this amount of money that we're going to be happy. And then what happens in the long run? We get that position at work, we get that new car, we get that new house, we get that new relationship, we get whatever it is that you're trying to fill the void with, and we end up empty. We still end up empty because most of us, I would say all of us, have never felt true happiness. Even as a child, think about it. Yeah, there's probably many more times as a child that you were happy, but were you ever truly happy? Did you ever truly know yourself? Could you ever truly walk beside your shadow? I don't think so. I don't think any of us could. So, for that matter, that's one of the parts and aspects of an awakening. The other part, and I mean, it depends on the soul. The other part is definitely working towards ascension. So, ascension for not just one individual, but for the planet, the people, and the beings that coexist on this planet. Um, when you think of ascension, a lot of people just think, oh, yeah, there's a monk sitting on a hilltop who's meditating forever and they're looking to ascend. Well, that's actually not the case. The only way that we're going to ascend is if we are all on the same level. All of the star seeds of the world awaken. And that's why I'm here today, is because I have come to realize what my purpose is. And my purpose is to speak my truth and speak the truth for others to experience as well and help to illuminate the path for others. Because we are all one. So I shouldn't say I have to, it is my calling to aid others to get to the same existence in the same plane as the rest. And now, like I said before, I am still fairly new in this awakening process. So I also sought out other people who have already experienced these things. And therefore, I have acquired a lot of knowledge based on the information I have received from around the web. And that's helped me immensely. So now it's my turn and my job to seek out other people. And I do believe, that anybody who is in need of this information will come across these videos and be guided to them, just as I was guided to some of the other videos. Because that's another part of the awakening. It's a really beautiful part, is this internal guidance system. It's quite amazing, actually. Everybody always talks about trusting your gut, trusting your gut. But what does that mean? If you're not listening for the guidance, or you don't discern between the two different voices, because they all sound like the voice in your head. But if you're not having any discernment between what is your thought and what is your guidance, which is your higher self, if you don't know how to discern between the two, then you can't really listen to your guidance. You just throw it by the wayside. Oh, that's just some other random crazy thought that I had, and who knows what that was. So that's another thing that we'll go over, is how to start listening to your higher self and to be able to tell the difference between the two thoughts, both your own and the guidance you're receiving. But yeah, that is an amazing part of it. When I started awakening, that was one of my favorite things, is that it didn't matter where I turned. I was reclusive. I've been stuck in kind of isolation for about 4 years now. And I didn't really go out a lot, so I didn't get a lot of messages or guidance for things while I was out, like some people do. Some people can just go and sit somewhere and get information from whoever it was for whatever question they're pondering. But for me, I sat here and wondered about a lot of things and didn't quite understand a lot of things in the beginning. And automatically I would get on YouTube, and something that was not in my regular videos that I would ever watch would come up, and it would be exactly what I needed to hear. It was the answers to my questions. It was somebody with the information that I had been seeking, that I asked the universe for, and I received. So that in itself was a blessing. And so I definitely think that anybody who is in need of this information will come across it in due time. It's just, you need to ask the universe, and you'll more than likely come across many other things or people in your life that will also provide this information for you. Now, another part of awakening is manifesting and understanding manifesting. My understanding of manifestation was not quite clear. I mean, I had a general understanding, but I didn't believe it in the sense that I believe it right now. So there's a total difference right now. And that is a part of your mind shifting and opening up. If you are interested in how to manifest, I will make a couple of videos in the future here, in the near future, on manifestation and the law of attraction, and also the anti-law of attraction. So there's a lot around it, but words of affirmation and things to that extent. One of the main things that I want to get across is that be careful what you say and be careful what you think. Not in the sense of a warning, not like, oh, I need to be in fear all the time, but more so be thoughtful of what you say and you think. With that, I will bid you farewell, and I look forward to seeing you again. If you want to leave any comments below or you like what you see, let me know. Subscribe and like my page. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.